Hello! So, I play and Dungeon Master a whole bunch of Dungeons & Dragons, and I found that the way that I do that might differ from the way that some other people do it. So I figured I would show a sort of key difference, and that's props. Not in the way that you may think. Handouts are fine, I do that all the time, but more about visual representations while in the game itself. So, I have a little setup here which can show you this space, which allows me to show off some of the cool stuff that we have. So, first of all, of course, you can just illustrate things with like putting a die next to it and going, this is guy number 1 or this is guy number 2. When you're using models, I use a lot of models because I do a lot of painting, but I tend to use sort of whiteboard-ish surfaces so I can write on them with whiteboard markers and things like that. But that's not sort of the primary focus of this video. For a space like this, you could use these sort of glass beads. Those are useful for telling that this character is this is you at a macro scale, or this one in particular is afraid or something like that. But the problem is with that it becomes a bit cluttered when you don't know, well, which one was the red one? Was that the scared one, or was that the one that was enraged, right? So I tend to use them, but not for that. Then I have this thing. Now, this is hokey, and I made it, but so this is an ocean playmat. And all the products that I'm showing off, I'll link in the description in case you want to check them out. So this is an ocean playmat I bought off Kickstarter, and I use this for ship battles, and this is 30 feet. So you can just use this as a sort of measuring stick, and I modeled it after some nautical instrument. Anyway, what I like is physical, tangible things, right, that you can sort of hold on to and use. So I hand out, for instance, these. So these are nice, heavy metal coins. These are my inspiration tokens, for instance. This is Bardic Inspiration. These are key points. And if you have sorcery points, then that's these ones. And they're all nice, heavy, metal, very solid, very dependable. I really enjoy them, and you can quickly teach the players which is which. So that works really quite well for me. Everyone just goes, oh, does anyone have a token left? Does anyone have any inspiration they can give me? Or I'm going to hand this person my inspiration, that sort of thing. Which works really quite well. The next thing that I like are the spell sleuths. Now, the spell sleuths are a spell slot tracker, and it's just a piece of wood, well, 2 pieces of wood that someone glued together and put all these lovely little numbers on. And then there are these plastic pips that you can just put or remove whenever you have a spell slot available. So I have 3 1s, 1 2, 1 3, and I'm currently concentrating. So that works really, really well for the players to just keep sort of accounting what they have available to them at any one time. So I do recommend this or a similar thing because it's just very, very handy. Next up, from Dungeon Loot Design, which is a fantastic company, are these little markers. Now, all of these markers are 3D printed. They're from an icon set that's sort of a common license. And I've written on the back what they're supposed to be in case the meaning of the icon isn't very clear. This is fright. Ought to be fairly, useful. This is advantage. Cheers. This is disadvantage. This is grapple. Here's my other inspiration token. Here's a deaf. Here's you turn into Nick Fury. No, it's blind. Sorry. Here's mute. Here is haste or sprint. Here's restrained. Here's bless, and so on and so forth. I'll take a picture showing them all off. But these are super, super handy. You just find the right token, you put it up like, oh, where's my hunter's mark? It's on this target. And you're done. Okay, and this guy is on fire, because I don't want to light my models on fire. And who is invisible at the moment? who is concentrating at the moment, who is stealthed, my little ninja icon here. So I use these a lot to keep track of what's going on the field. I can. Also from Dungeon Loot Design are my terror tokens. So I use a different set of rules for fright than the usual ones. So these tokens will let me know which effect each character is suffering and how many more turns they have to suffer that effect. It's fairly straightforward for that system. And I can link that down below as well. It's just a way to make the frightened rules a bit less blunt than they are in 5e. So this is sort of a way to handle that. And finally, also from Dungeon Loot Design, are health potions. So people tend to forget that they have them in my groups. They write them on their inventory and then they forget that they ever had them at all. So Dungeon Loot Design makes these little health potion tokens, and it has the number of health points you regain. And you can buy a set of these, and then you get 4 of the little tiny basic healing potion ones. And then you get 3 of the slightly more useful, bigger ones. And I love how these are printed in 3 different colors. I had to paint on the numbers though, just so that you know. You get 2 of these slightly hunkier ones. And you get 1 big daddy-o potion in case you are really struggling for health that day. All these are 3D printed. And they also make coins, but I already have my coins, so I didn't bother getting any of those. I can't. So I just like having physical props in the game, and my players seem to appreciate it. And I wanted just to show off what it is that I have and what I use. And if there are any questions regarding any of this, feel free to drop a comment. And I'll post something about the horror system as well, I suppose. And thank you all for your time, and take care. Bye.